actually destroying homes right now.
A deadly storm system rips through several states, leaving a path of devastation. Where it's heading this morning still to come.
Then a man allegedly busted boozing behind the wheel. How many times he's been caught and convicted for the same thing before, that's coming up.
Also, APD training behind the scenes, an inside look at the reform process for the entire force. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Krista Gutierrez. Thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday, May 10th. We'll get to those stories in just a bit. But first, we're talking about a nice day heading our way.
We still got to deal with the wind, though. Kristen Curry's talking about what to expect here in the coming hours. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. That's exactly right. Temperatures, nothing we have to worry about, but it's more so those winds that are coming back for this afternoon. At this point, they're pretty light out there, but Doppler radar not showing anything, so your morning commute looks great. No rain or snow going to fall on you. Temperatures even warmer than where we had our morning temps yesterday. Mid-40s in Santa Fe, 60 in Socorro. We're in the upper 60s down in Carlsbad with 59 in Clovis and 50 here in Albuquerque. A lot of us planning a big week this week, really, with graduation happening for a lot of high schools around the metro. At Trisco Heritage, you guys are graduating today at 2:30, and you'll notice those temperatures very comfortable. 80 degrees is what we're going to top out with. So if you maybe have a graduation party later on this afternoon, plan on the heat, because really we're getting back to the 90s in some parts of the state this afternoon. But the winds, not as bad as yesterday, still noticeable out of the west, about breezy to windy. Later on this week, though, we're talking warmer temps for us even here in the metro, getting closer to 90 before the eastern plains gets hit with a cold front, and that cools you guys down. So there's a lot happening in that 7-day, and I'm going to break down everything you need to know coming up in your full forecast in about 15 minutes.
Developing this morning as Albuquerque police nears the end of new use of force training for the entire force of more than 800 officers. KRQE News 13 recently got an inside look at what's behind it. On special assignment, News 13's Chris McKee gives us a look at the week-long training with a lot of new emphasis and components. Officers are being taught to do more with time, distance, and de-escalation. They're also doing more lifelike training scenarios.
You're taking into fact that this guy, you're not sure his mindset at that moment in time. And you're also having to, you can't jeopardize officer safety, but you also have to keep in tune with what information is coming across the radio, which is very, very difficult at times.
And there's a lot more to Chris's story online. You can open the KRQE News app right now for a complete look at his report and also a deeper look at APD's new use of force policy.
Developing news this morning, one person is in the hospital listed as critical today after Albuquerque police say they were run over in southeast Albuquerque. It happened yesterday around 7:30. Witnesses told police the pedestrian stumbled into traffic, then fell down right in the middle of the street. That's when they say a car turning onto Zuni from San Pedro ran the person over. Police say the driver told him he felt like he'd run something over and stopped to see if it was a person. Police say they do think the pedestrian was intoxicated. No word this morning on if the driver will be facing any charges.
503, an official apology from a group of firefighters and their chief is public this morning. This after some racy photos from a training trip surfaced. Because of the nature of those pictures, we're choosing not to show them to you this morning. But Valencia County Chief Stephen Gonzalez and 2 division chiefs signed the apology letter. Last month, they were in Indianapolis for a conference, and that's where those photos were taken. The firefighters were wearing uniform polo shirts while at a bar with dancers. The county suspended the 3 men and then gave them a letter of reprimand. You can read their apology letter and also see the photos on the KRQE News app this morning.
This morning, the DA's office is waiting for a federal case involving an accused cop killer who pleaded guilty to selling drugs to clear before they can file murder charges. Convicted felon Devon Lyman admitted he sold heroin and a gun to undercover federal agents weeks before he's accused of gunning down Officer Daniel Webster. In federal court yesterday, Lyman pleaded guilty to 3 counts that could get him up to 50 years.
What this does is this saves Michelle Webster, the family and friends from having to live through a trial.
Webster's widow and dozens of officers were at the hearing. Lyman is facing a federal charge for being a felon in possession of a firearm when he allegedly killed Officer Webster. He's not charged with murder again just yet. The DA's office says they're waiting for the federal cases to be resolved before filing a state case.
On to this happening right now. A federal judge is reviewing a request by officials to keep another career criminal behind bars for decades. In October, Kevin Fultz was found guilty of federal gun and carjacking charges after he was arrested for carjacking a 13-year-old months earlier. Court documents show the feds are asking for a 40-year sentence now.
Happening this morning, Roswell police continue their search for a man who may have been involved in a deadly shooting over the weekend. It happened around 8 p.m. Sunday on the 2900 block of South Emerald Drive. Police have already arrested 31-year-old William Otero. They say he shot 34-year-old Ralph Pichardo after a confrontation erupted. Police are not saying what that confrontation was about and whether the two men knew each other.
An Espanola man is behind bars this morning, facing years in prison after police say they pulled him over for his 10th DWI arrest. It happened 2 weeks ago in Espanola. State police say Max Padilla was driving recklessly, and when they did stop him, officers say he smelled of alcohol, but insisted that he had not had anything to drink. Eventually, though, they say he did come clean.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I took some heroin this morning, but really a shot of whiskey, and that was it.
A shot of whiskey? How long ago was your shot?
About 2 hours ago.
Padilla is looking at a minimum 2-year sentence if he's convicted this time around. Had Padilla been arrested after July 1st, he would have been in much deeper trouble. The state legislature just passed a law that increases the minimum sentence for an 8th DWI to 10 years in prison.
To a developing story this morning, the Department of Education says it is getting rid of a rule stopping teachers from bad-mouthing standardized tests. The move comes after the ACLU filed a lawsuit saying it violates free speech. Teachers said they were in fear of losing their license for speaking badly about the PARCC test. PED says they never enforced the rule implemented by the Richardson administration. On to other news happening right now. North Carolina is gearing up for a showdown with the federal government over its controversial bathroom law. The Justice Department sued North Carolina for violating civil rights hours after State Governor Pat McCrory filed his own lawsuit. The law limits the use of public restrooms to the gender on a person's birth certificate.
Time now 5:07. A deadly storm system that spawned several tornadoes in the plains continues to move east this morning. Just hours ago, more of those twisters hit Oklahoma and Nebraska, leaving at least 2 people dead yesterday. The severe weather system is forecasted to continue moving east today, dumping heavy rain in Ohio and Tennessee. Another storm system is expected to bring more severe weather to parts of Oklahoma and even Texas tomorrow.
This morning, an 11-year-old boy in New York is accused of torching a school bus with a disturbing motive in mind. The entire incident was caught on camera Sunday. Take a look at this. Police say the boys are all ages 10 through 11. The video shows the boys running onto the bus with some cardboard. Police say they used a Bic lighter to start the fire. Investigators say it was a deliberate attack on the Jewish community. The boy they've already caught is charged with arson and a hate crime. Police are still looking for the others this morning. A burglar scolded on social media for his fashion sense. How many times he's hit one store in the same outfit that now has the store giving him his own nickname.
Also, fake fundraisers, the warning the family of Ashlyn Mike has for people looking to donate money in her name.
Then a daredevil daring others to take on this risk in Albuquerque. Why the city says it's the wrong message coming up. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Crystal Gutierrez.
I'm Adam Atchison. Tuesday, May 10th today. We're glad you're with us. We're starting with the forecast.
We sure are. Kristen Curry's tracking some beautiful temperatures today, but what do we have to deal with?
A little bit more wind, guys, and that's going to be the one kind of bummer about today's forecast, as our temperatures will be near perfect in many areas. Want to start with our numbers this morning, as most of us are still in the 40s and 50s out there. 48 in Ruidoso, 46 in Gallup, as well as Santa Fe. Albuquerque looking at 50 this morning. Now, when it comes to the allergy report for today, we're still having a little bit of an issue with chenopods, but grass and mulberry up to medium pine, nothing you got to worry about. When it comes to today's temps, it is going to be another warm one, and I do know the El Dorado Senior is going to be walking across the stage tonight. You'll notice those temperatures from 80 degrees will fall to the 70s by 6, eventually cooling off to the 60s later on tonight. But a mostly clear sky stretch across the state. We only have a few spot showers likely up to the north of us, while everybody else sees sunshine. But the winds continue, and so does the warm-up. Details in your full forecast here in about 10 minutes.
See you then. Thank you, Kristen. Albuquerque is getting a lot of attention on social media this morning thanks to a video posted by a famous pro skateboarder. But officials say he's sending the wrong message. Tony Hawk shared a video on Facebook of skateboarders in Albuquerque writing, "If you have a skating bucket list, I recommend putting Indian School Ditch near the top. But the Albuquerque Fire Department is firing back now, saying that's a bad idea and reminding people to stay away from arroyos and ditches. AFD says flash flooding can happen at any time. AFD says it only takes 2 to 3 feet of water to sweep somebody off their feet. The city points to several skate parks as a safer alternative for skateboarders.
On to news happening now. This morning, the family of Ashlyn Mike, the 11-year-old girl murdered on the Navajo Nation, is warning about fake online fundraisers in her name. Ashlyn's family tells News 13 there have been a couple accounts on the GoFundMe website in Ashlyn's name. They say they're not using that site, but a Wells Fargo account. The fake online accounts have since been removed. Happening today, you can help Ashlyn's family in person. APD is inviting anyone interested to come chat with them for Coffee with a Cop. You'll be able to get a free donut and coffee, as well as help fill a giant donut with donations. It's all going to the Mike family. The event starts this morning at 7 at the Southwest Substation. That's near West Mesa High. You can find more details on our KRQE News app. You can also pitch in by grabbing a slice of pizza today. Pizza 9 locations in Gallup and Farmington say they will donate 100% of their profits today to Ashlyn's family. Other locations around the state will be accepting cash donations for the family.
5:33 happening right now. The Navajo Nation says it's beginning testing on a new text message alert system to make sure that people know about missing children sooner. The president of the Navajo Nation made that announcement yesterday. This after some criticized how officials handled Ashlyn's disappearance last week. 8 hours passed between the time she was reported missing and when the Amber Alert was issued. President Russell Begay says tribal officials will consult with telephone companies and they're testing the texting system. He wants it up and running in 60 days. In just a few weeks, students will be out of school and on summer break, and a lot of parents will be looking for ways to keep their kids busy soon.
Yeah, new this morning, News 13's Sarah Yingling looked up some fun programs for your kiddos that are already taking names. Good morning, Sarah.
And Crystal, with summer just around the corner, sign-ups for summer programs are already underway. And all you have to do is go to the City of Albuquerque website and find the program you're looking for. Now that includes at the Bio Park, where week-long classes for kids ages preschool through 9th grade start in early June. Children learn about science with hands-on activities, games, and art. There are still some classes available throughout the summer. There's also the Summer Recreation Program for kids ages 5 to 15 years old. The program starts in June and goes through July and is designed to promote involvement in recreation, health, and family life activities. Outdoor city pools open in just over 2 weeks on May 28th. One of the city's indoor Olympic-sized pools at the West Mesa Aquatic Center just underwent repairs and reopened last week. The city is planning other renovations at Los Altos and North Dominga Baca pools.
People love to be around water, so we have big plans for the pools that we currently have to renovate them, and we just want to invite everybody out to the great facilities that you own as citizens.
The city is also offering free meals for kids and teens throughout the summer. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Sarah. Now, for links to registration and more info on locations for free meals, head on over to our KRQE News app.
As you wake up today, the DA's office is now reviewing the case of 2 men shot and killed near Belen over the weekend. You'll remember that we told you about this story early yesterday morning, Monday. Investigators say Johnny Pena and Matthew Archibek Marquez got into a fist fight at the Altura apartments in Rio Communities. They say the apartment manager tried to break it up and then asked her boyfriend, Alexander Ross, to help. Deputies say Ross went outside with a gun, and at some point the 2 men wound up in his apartment. Ross opened fire, killing them, according to deputies. The DA's office will now decide if Ross will face charges in the case.
On to news happening this morning. Voters in West Virginia and Nebraska head to the polls to decide who should be their party's presidential nominee. Presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump heads into today's contest unopposed. This after Ted Cruz and John Kasich ended their campaigns just last week. Democrat Bernie Sanders is poised to win West Virginia's primary. However, he still trails far behind Hillary Clinton in the delegate count.
Millions of college graduates are starting the day facing student loan debt, and this morning experts are encouraging them to turn to programs that can help erase it. The latest government stats show 7 out of 10 college grads have loans, and up to 25% of borrowers are behind in their payments. But the government's public service loan forgiveness program may be able to help. It wipes away college debt for educators, soldiers, firefighters, and many others with public service jobs after they make 10 years of payments. The program only applies to federal loans.
This morning's surveillance video from a game store is all the buzz, and it's all because of the burglar who's been giving a pretty interesting name. The store has been hit 4 times in the last 3 months by this man, but the store's owner says he's only stolen an Xbox one of those 3 times. Now they're hitting back on social media, dubbing him the Sleepy Sasquatch. That's because of what he usually has on when he hits a store.
He uses pajama bottoms almost every time, and he's pretty tall too, so that's where he gets the Sleepy Sasquatch name from.
For now, police do not have any leads on the guy, but the store manager is hoping the tongue-in-cheek Facebook post drums up some leads, and somebody will recognize those flashy pajama bottoms.
Those are pretty impressive pajamas. I don't get the Sasquatch thing, but I do, Sleepy, obviously.
Yeah.
You go to bed in those kind of clothes.
I mean, it's late at night. You're not going to get dressed up to go hit up a store, right?
I guess not. I guess not.